Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to officially open the meeting of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. We are going to start with a quick roll call of all of the council members who are here today. So I'm just going to go down my list. When I say your name, please say hello or present. John Feinman.
Hello.
Ben Jacobs.
Present.
Maribel Campos Rivera.
Good afternoon.
Barbie Izquierdo.
Good afternoon.
Jose Garces.
Present.
Tina Flournoy. I see Tina. I think she's on mute. Stephanie.
I'm present, sorry.
That's all right. Stephanie Shaheen.
Afternoon, everybody.
Elena Deladon.
Hey, everyone.
Feremi Okunlumi.
Ready to rumble.
Shantae Lowe.
Present.
Jose Andres.
Present, unable.
Dari Mazafarian.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, nice to see everyone.
Nadine Gracia.
Hello, everyone present.
Laura Ricketts.
Present.
Tamika Catchings.
Hello, everybody.
Meg Ham.
Good afternoon.
Martin Inglesby. Oh, I didn't hear you, but I see you. Chloe Kim.
Present. Hello, everyone.
Ryan Howard.
Present. Hi, everybody.
Allison O'Toole.
Present. Hi, everyone.
Melissa Stockwell.
I am here. Hi there.
All right. Is there, oh, Kahina Haynes. I see you now.
Present. Hey, everyone.
Elena Myers Taylor.
Hi, everyone. Here.
Is there anyone I did not call? Screens were jumping around that is present. All right, with that, Rayhan, I will turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really great to see you. Thanks, Rachel. My name is Rayhan Marani, and I am the new Executive Director for the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. I'm incredibly honored to join this group of distinguished individuals, and I look forward to working with all of you to further the Council's priorities and promote physical activity, nutrition, and healthy eating to all Americans. Today is my 17th day at the President's Council here at HHS. Even in the short time that I've spent here and in the brief interactions that I've had with many of you, it's become really clear to me how passionate and committed this council is about creating a healthier nation. And now more than ever, the work of this council is critical in the future of our country. I think we are somewhat at a crossroads, not just in a battle for the soul of our nation, but also for the body of our nation too. In our country today, poor nutrition remains the leading cause of death, causing more than 500,000 deaths annually. Less than 10% of Americans consume enough fruits or vegetables, but 90% consume far too much sodium. In the last couple of decades, the number of Americans who have been diagnosed with diabetes has nearly doubled. And only 1 in 4 Americans reports getting enough physical activity daily, the same amount that are not physically active at all. And I know I'm saying this to a group of experts, but the importance of this council's work cannot be overstated. We truly have a unique opportunity to reverse these trends and create a healthier and stronger nation. Over the next few weeks, I look forward to learning from all of you, the subject matter experts, about how we can effectively create impact and how I can best support your priorities, your objectives. The voices and experiences that compose this council constitute the leading experts in sports, nutrition, food, medicine, fitness, and countless other fields. We look to lean on all of you to understand what we need to be doing and why it's so critical for us to be doing it. And together, I think we'll build mechanisms that can effectively and strategically execute how we do those things to create meaningful impact. It is my goal over the next few weeks to be able to speak with all of you individually, to learn from your wealth of knowledge, and to be able to understand what your goals and priorities for the council are, and work together to build a strategic roadmap for us through 2024. President Biden often says that America can be defined in one word: possibilities. And perhaps more than any other administration in the past, the Biden-Harris administration has prioritized creating a country that's equitable, where possibilities aren't just for a few among us, but rather for all of us. This administration is committed to eradicating hunger and diet-related diseases by 2030, all while reducing disparities, core tenets of the White House challenge. Last year's conference on hunger, nutrition, and health, the first in over 50 years of its kind, is just one step in fulfilling President Biden's commitment to supporting public health and building a more just and equitable country. And I think that the council's work is pivotal in being an equalizer by promoting fitness and nutrition to our partners across the government, our civil society partners and stakeholders, as well as to every American. Together, I know that we can work towards the collective goal of creating a more equitable nation, to ensure that life expectancy in this country isn't just determined by zip code, and to ensure that every American both has access to a healthy diet and is equipped with the education that they need to prioritize their nutrition. Whether that be through promoting food as medicine initiatives, finding ways to combat food deserts, advocating for nutrition education programs, or revamping the President's Youth Fitness Challenge, or through any of the many ideas that I know everyone on the council has, we can create meaningful impact, and I look forward to being able to do that with all of you. I learned quite a bit in my time at the White House before this, but the one thing that I learned very early on from the White House Scheduling and Advance team that remained true till the end for us is that any team with a collective vision and positive intent, no matter how small, how constrained on time, or however challenged, can create a meaningful impact and lasting impact by working together. To put it more simply, in a quote that I'm sure many of you have heard from Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And so in the coming weeks, I look forward to getting to know all of you and getting to know all of you better, and figuring out how together this council can change our world for the better by uplifting health. The possibilities, I think, are endless. Before I close out, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the wonderful staff at HHS. Everyone from Rachel, Allison, Katrina, Adam, Tara, Jen, Teddy, Joey, and so many others who have been so incredibly helpful and welcoming. I am grateful for their support and guidance on a day-to-day basis. That's all I have to say. I am looking forward to getting to know all of you, and looking forward to today's meeting and getting to see all of you. With that being said, I think we can move towards subcommittee updates. I think we can turn it over to Kahina and Barbie to discuss an update and a proposal from the Partnership and Community Outreach Subcommittee.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. So I am going to start by giving a little bit of history on the President's Council Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition Awards. So the council has given out awards to recognize individuals or organizations that have contributed in various ways to the advancement or promotion of physical activity, fitness, sports, or nutrition. The Lifetime Achievement Award and the Community Leadership Award were awarded annually between 2007 through 2016, and again in 2019. The Lifetime Achievement Award recipients had the opportunity to attend the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition annual meeting to receive their award. Their interest in reinstating the annual council awards program and the Partnerships and Community Engagement Subcommittee has discussed some updates. This includes changes to the numbers of awardees as well as instituting a third award. I will pass it to Kahina, who can tell you a little bit about what those awards are.
Sure. Thanks, Barbie. And also the names of some of the awards, there are proposed changes. And before diving into a brief overview of those edits, I want to talk a bit, just share out what the subcommittee, what was really behind a lot of these changes. And that's dealing with this concept of engagement and really moving beyond the opportunity and having mechanisms to acknowledge folks that have really had an impact in this area, moving beyond that and thinking about engagement. What does it really look like to engage as many Americans across generations, across backgrounds in these initiatives? And what does engagement look like? Where might there be barriers to engagement in the existing design, and how some of these proposed edits would mitigate those engagement barriers? So we spent a lot of time talking about that. And it was through those conversations that the following edits were proposed. So I will go through them briefly. The first is a name change. So changing the Lifetime Achievement Award to Lifetime Impact Award. And the criteria would include span and scope of career, population and area of mission served, and reach of individuals' work. And that reach, again, is not just about sort of the first or initial level of engagement, but really looking at the depth of the reach of that work and the longevity of the reach of that work. And then in addition to that, individual accomplishments. The second award, the change was really in the number of awardees, and that was done to incorporate the introduction of the third award, which we'll get to. But that is to continue the Community Leadership Award criteria, including the area, again, of need for this could be not just an individual, but an organization, the areas that they're touching on through their work, the impact, of course, of this individual and or organization's work. And then again, looking at the population or populations served with a particular focus on those that are underrepresented, underserved, or coming from communities or regions of historic disinvestment. And the third, which is the new proposed award, really again came from thinking about where are there efforts that are existing in this mission, in the pursuit of this mission, that are engaging communities, that have the following, the buy-in, and the support of communities. And with those things under their belt that individuals have maybe worked for decades on, they're seeing higher degrees of participation in physical activity, in the promotion of nutrition, in the promotion of sport and fitness, and addressing not only the creation of more opportunities, but really examining where there might be barriers to participation. The subcommittee proposed that there are individuals that are really concentrating on that aspect of the work that we felt was equally as important to recognize and acknowledge. And so that is the new award. It's the Hero Award. And the criteria for this award would be, again, looking at the areas of focus that this individual is championing, i.e. sports, physical activity, fitness, or nutrition, or a combination of any of the aforementioned, looking again at their reach, looking at the spheres of influence. So not only, again, maybe it's not just direct services, but looking at certain platforms of the individual, looking at certain coalition building or strategic collaborations they've been able to achieve, and their approach to this innovation, their creative approach or their approach to addressing some of this innovation systemically. So that's the new one. And I'll hand it back over to Barbie to talk about some of the logistics around these three awards and some additional considerations.
Thank you, Kahina, for that very in-depth explanation. Makes me so excited talking about these awards. But in regards to the nomination period, so historically nominations open in the late fall for announcement in late spring, considering the the additional things that need to be ironed out. The council, we're considering opening nominations in early 2024 to announce the recipients at the 2024 annual meeting. We will support staff with collecting nominations, provide initial review, and send qualified nominees to the Partnerships and Community Engagement Subcommittee with myself and Kahina and others to review and to make the final decisions. Currently, one-time recognition is the extent of the awards program. The Partnerships and Community Engagement Subcommittee, we would like to explore the possibility of requesting continued engagement of recipients for the year following the award. So structure and requirements for engagement need further discussion, but it can include a cohort structure with the expectation for action during the year of recognition to expand our ability to impact different communities and elevate recipient platforms. And with that, I think I'm handing it back to you, Kahina.
Yeah, no, thanks, Barbie. I think the only thing I would add to that in the additional consideration is just that this, again, following this theme of how do we ensure these are beyond just sort of a transactional or very static acknowledgements, but leveraging the value and also the interest and the unwavering commitment, the demonstrated commitment of individuals to receive these awards. That's a tremendous opportunity, right? That goes far beyond that one-time acknowledgement. And we believe it could be annual, should be annual, so that we can maximize the opportunities and the touch points to keep the engagement in these initiatives flowing. So I would just add that. And from there, the only other consideration is that to remind everyone, this is a draft. This is really about getting the entire council to, vote on whether or not we agree this is a direction we want to move in. Obviously, there are more logistics to iron out, but just wanted to get a sense of if the re-engagement or reactivation of these awards is something the entire council would like to see us move forward with. Great. With that, do I open it to a vote, an official vote?
Yep, you can do that, Kahina. That'd be great.
Okay, great. We'd like to open this up for an official vote to the council as to whether or not we would like to continue moving forward with the reactivation of the awards, specifically the 3 awards, including the new Hero Award, and with the acknowledgement that details will continue to be ironed out. And
So I make a motion to continue these awards and what Barbie and Kahina are recommending.
a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know if I was the one supposed to be doing this, but I guess we are co-chairs, so here we go. If it's okay for you, co-chair Elena.
That's great. Way to take lead.
And thank you to the subcommittee for doing the work to put the plan forward. It sounds terrific.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I'll be handing it over to the next subcommittee, but just want to flag, later on in the meeting, there's an opportunity for us to share more about some of the other ideas. So hopefully everyone can stay on for those. We had some exciting other things on the horizon we're looking forward to sharing out about as well. So with that, I'll hand it over to I think it's Nutrition is up next for their report out. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kahina. Amazing. And listen, anything is recognizing the unsung heroes in every one of our communities all across. Nothing we do will be enough because we know it's many amazing folks out there. And I think this is probably one of the most important things we can all do, recognizing those amazing women and men in every corner in our country doing amazing things sometimes with no recognition. So that's awesome.
My name is Dari Mozaffarian, and Allison and I have co-chaired the nutrition subcommittee of the President's Council. And so I'll give a quick overview on just kind of what we've been discussing and considering, and then turn it over to Allison to give some more specific updates and highlights. You know, we've been thinking about, since nutrition is a relative newcomer to the President's Council, you know, added about, I think, roughly 10 years ago or so, how do we ensure that all of the work of the council, all of the partnerships that it's had in the past, new partnerships moving forward, be sure to incorporate nourishment and healthy food in addition to sports and fitness. There's a long history of excellent work in sports and fitness with the council. And so just to really think about energizing that, and also how they work together. For good nutrition and good physical health, and also good mental health. And so we've been really thinking about that, what new partnerships or collaborations or synergies the council could have, and also what our role is to give advice and direct advice back to the agencies and back to the White House around this, given the new national strategy and what we think could be accelerated. And so it's been a great series of discussions. We've had a lot of progress, have a lot of great ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to announce those in the coming next couple of months. And Allison will give us some details on some of the specific things that we can't talk about now.
All right, thanks, Dari. And hi, everyone. Super excited to be moving forward with some regional events to highlight, as a way to highlight some of our activity outside of DC. So we are in kind of uplift our goals and our areas of focus. So we've been working here in Minnesota along with Chef Garces on an event here called Kitchen Crossover. And you'll all receive an invitation. It's almost, you know, for sure happening on Monday, the 27th of November here in Minneapolis. We're going to invite some of our top chefs to the table. Jose Garces will lead that charge. We welcome all the other chefs on the call, though, and we will be pairing premier chefs with elite athletes, and we're going to teach each other and have a little competition. So again, you are all welcome. It is really designed to raise awareness about the connection of physical and mental fitness and the importance of proper nutrition as well. So we're going to have a little fun, raise some awareness. And I think Chef Garces, you are a full participant in the Minnesota event, but maybe we'll take some of these lessons back to Philly to do another regional event there.
Yeah, that's the idea, is to really piggyback off the Minnesota event, and really, you know, what we're looking to do in Philadelphia is include our community partners and include our community partners and really show you know, how sports and nutrition and fitness all kind of come into play. Really looking at culturally appropriate foods and how to get creative with healthy meals, and doing it in a budget, in a way in which we highlight, you know, sports as well. So we're excited about, you know, this initiative, and, you know, we're looking forward to the Minneapolis event and take the learnings from there and bring it to Philadelphia.
Yeah, and we'll have a little fun along the way. Hopefully you will all be receiving an invitation. We're working with Rachel and the rest of the team to get everything finalized, but more coming very soon. I think that's it from us in the nutrition subcommittee. So on to the physical activity subcommittee.
Thank you, Allison. That will be me. So it's exciting to hear all of the different subcommittees and what they've been doing. And I think that ours will build upon that quite nicely, especially with the Pennsylvania bent. So what the physical activity subcommittee has come up with is something called Feast and Fitness. So in order to address two of the components of what we do here on the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, we put together something that will be feasts, so cooking with the council, which Chef Jose and then Chef Mike will be involved in, and that I'll give you more details about as we go in. And so that is going to be centered around Thanksgiving and the feast around Thanksgiving, and also Native American Heritage Month. So we'll get more details. Then the second part of fitness is talking about the importance of physical fitness for everyone and an inclusive approach to doing so. So the feast and fitness idea is that in order to then recognize the importance of healthy nutrition, Thanksgiving is not always a holiday that people make the best meal choices. We also recognize that nutritious food is not always accessible to many people. So we're going to have an event that Governor Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, will be hosting at his home in his kitchen. And Chef Jose and Chef Mike will be cooking 3 dishes with the governor. And they'll be filming that tomorrow, actually, which will then air live later on, such that we will have individuals being able to participate with them. Now, we've got Ben Jacobs, one of our fellow council members, who will also be participating because we want to then recognize Native American Heritage Month and traditional Native foods while also addressing the modern Thanksgiving holiday. So we thought that that was important to make sure that we are remembering the true concept of where Thanksgiving came from, and then highlighting and then centering on Native voices and Native ingredients. So then Ben will be able to be part of that as well. So that is something that we want to then give a thanks to Chef Mike, who's not able to be here today, but Chef Mike and his team were really instrumental in being able to spearhead this. And thanks to Jose and Chef Mike for being able to be there. And of course, thanks to Governor Shapiro for opening his home to be able to have the feast part of Feast and Fitness, which will happen tomorrow. Now, the purpose of this, as we said, though, we'll have a live airing where people will be able to interact with them as they're cooking. And so the details of that we can talk about maybe later in the last portion, but it took a lot of sort of strategery to be able to figure out how to pre-record this, but also still include live interactive engagement from people. So the benefit of Zoom and being able to then pre-record things was utilized for the feast portion. Then the fitness portion of it, we're going to have all the involvement from hopefully you council members, because we've got the Office for Disease Prevention and Health Promotion has their Move Your Way campaign. And we're trying to then highlight that by showing that everyone needs to then be able to move. And we want everyone, regardless of zip code or demographic, to then have access to physical activity. So what we're going to be doing, and the instructions we'll share, but there's going to be a very, very brief, when I say brief, less than 5 seconds video that we're going to ask each of you to then make, which will be a compilation video, and it will say, I move my way by, and then you can talk about what you do. I'm sure Kahina is going to talk about how she dances, and that's something that she can share. I'm not sure whatever anyone else wants to talk about. Maybe Tamika will talk about playing ball, but she might want to say that she does something different. So we're going to then describe it where one of these kind of little cheeky videos where someone's going to toss something to you from the right side of the screen. You're going to receive it, say, I move my way by, right? And Ryan might say hitting home runs, and then he tosses the ball off to the left side of the screen, and someone else will then do the same thing on theirs. So very, very short 5-second video, which hopefully will demonstrate to people that physical activity and movement is not just in playing sports, is not just in going for a run. So whatever it is that you do to then be moving. So that's going to be a nice little video. And once again, thanks to Chef Mike's team, because they are going to then do all the editing to that video to put it together. And then we're going to end with a little outro, which is going to be from the Move Your Way campaign to show a video of something that we have done before. So once again, Feast and Fitness, starting with cooking with the council, where we'll be then cooking 3 dishes and highlighting Native American Heritage Month, and then the fitness component of Move Your Way, where we'll be asking all of the council members to record a very brief, less than 5-second video, which we have the instructions that we'll be sending out so that you can see steps 1 through 11 as to what to do. Very, very brief, just a quick, less than 5-second video talking about the way that you move. So that's what we've been doing on the subcommittee for fitness. And we thank everyone that was helpful in putting those things together and being able to then offer resources to make that happen also. And now I think I open it up, I guess, to the additional brainstorming portion of our discussion.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, however, just on like the subcommittee updates, or has any questions for any of the folks who just spoke to some of the updates and some of the work that subcommittees are doing, feel free to speak up if you all have anything.
Yes, I wanted to ask with regards to the community engagement, that I totally agree with the continued engagement of grantees. But I was wondering whether or not part of it would be for them to transfer their generational knowledge of how they have been doing their work so that we can add sustainability of people who are trying to find their path on how to get engaged, how to move forward, anything that they want to provide for their community, so that I have that guidance from people who've done the work. And before you answer, I also wanted to mention that we have been working in collaboration with a nonprofit here in Puerto Rico called Nutriendo Puerto Rico, and we're gonna be hosting a food security and nutritional security summit mid-November. It's gonna be held in one of the private academic institutions that provides a title in culinary nutrition. And we have been provided the sponsors code to engage the group from Miss Tata Cepeda. This is a family that has long been known, is recognized in the Smithsonian for their role in perpetuating bomba dance in its different forms. And they're going to be part of the activity. So more information from that through Rachel. Some of the chefs that are here with us, if they want to join in, please let us know.
Co-Chair Elena, I mean, if I can add, I mean, obviously, these regional engagements, with the example of what you guys are doing already in Minnesota, and hopefully taking it to Philadelphia, which is the main domain of Chef Jose Garces. Even he has his hands in many other cities and parts of America. But what we all need to remember is that we have an army of cooks and chefs that already they are doing in their communities in a way. And if they're not doing, eager to do. So while it may seem regional and one event in Minnesota or one event in Philly or whatever we did in DC, that we need to find a way really to make sure everybody in our community of restaurants and chefs is highly aware of it, because then it'll be an amazing way used to bring legions and legions of people that will help us to recreate these other events in many other cities all at once, all the time. And then is when the real impact really will happen. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I think you can say count Jose and I in on the Philly side of things. I was also wondering, with the Minnesota event, how is that being covered? How is that being shared to the public, just so everybody can see it?
Yeah, so Elena, great question. And we're locking down some final details. And I think early next week, we'll be able to share it not only with the council, but a little bit more widely who will be there. And so, sharing a little bit of a sneak peek here, but more to come very soon. And again, really would love members of the council to be with us if they can travel. And working primarily with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Lynx right now, just to show my hand.
Great.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, we'd love to have you. Tamika, we'd love to have you. All the chefs on the call. We are super excited about it and just finalizing some of these details yet.
And Chef Andres, to your point, the point is to create a template that can roll out nationally. So learn from the Minneapolis event, recreate that in Philly, and then have a solid template that can go out nationally.
Well done, Chef Garces. Yesterday, we had in Washington, D.C., Chef Katie Button from Asheville. She was invited by the White House to cook the state dinner in honor of Australia Prime Minister. And I know a person like Katie Button will be a person that will be with other chefs in Asheville. And now we keep going through hundreds, if not thousands, of big cities and the smaller cities. And yes, we have a roller coaster. And I cannot wait to see the Minnesota one and learning from the past, what you guys are doing in Minnesota, plus whatever in DC, in Philly. And then again, do the template and let it roll. We have Bill Shore, if I remember well, he's also in our council. So Share Our Strength alone has this amazing Rolodex of every single restaurant is committed to do this type of events. It's between all of us in this call, we can reach to every restaurant, every chef, every person in food on the nutrition part. And obviously we have also the Rolodex of players and teams that hopefully in the weeks and months to come will keep joining all these efforts. So I will say amazing.
Is there a series of organizations that represent cooks and chefs in the United States that we could make this sort of more coordinated? I mean, I could imagine a partnership with the President's Council where we have coordinated messaging and uplift that. I think the business is quite bottom up, not top down, but I don't know if there's also some sort of national organizations, Jose that we could.
Chef Jose Garces, no, but from James Beard Foundation.
Yeah.
But even the State Department is more for chefs to represent America overseas. Also, the State Department over the year has been doing a fairly good job trying to bring chefs that they are committed to make things happen. But obviously the James Beard, the Share Our Strength, the Chef Association of America, it's others that obviously we can get our hands. And I know this committee will, with the leadership and help of Jose Garces, will get our hands in those lists. And anything else you want to add, Chef Garces?
No, I think you're right on. Those organizations are the right place to start, whether it's James Beard Foundation or Share Our Strength. They have access to the chef community, and so that'll be a good place, good recommendation to extend where we're going.
I want to remind everybody that during the Obama administration, when President Biden was vice president, the White House invited over 1,000 chefs with not a lot of time. They invited any chef that wanted to come to support, nutrition and food efforts by the White House. More than 1,000 chefs show up. So this is only a simple sign that the cooks and chefs of America are ready to join our efforts. Again, we have an army there. With all the chefs in this group alone, we can reach to a lot of people, but chefs are ready and willing. So we need to show them the template of what you guys are creating. And I think we can have a very successful next couple of years.
I just wanted to ask a question about the awards to Kahina and Barbie. Just really terrific work, and I'm supportive of the reinvigoration of those awards. On the Hero Award as the new award, you in particular talked about the criteria for the lifetime impact and the community leadership awards, and had some real intentionality around the population and area that's served, and in particular highlighted, for example, if it's underserved or communities that have been historically disinvested in, that would be part of the criteria. Is that also criteria that you would be considering with the Hero Award, just in looking at some of the criteria that were listed? Is there going to be that intentionality as well with regards to selection for those awardees?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to open the space for anyone, please, on the subcommittee who is part of these conversations. Feel free to chime in, because it's got a lot of discussion. But I want to say, yes, I think the criteria list isn't as robust. It doesn't reflect kind of all of the factors. We tried to keep it, consolidated for the purposes, but definitely we want consistency. I think that was really important. There had to be an undercurrent, some sort of standardized process in the criteria, and that focus on underrepresented groups was one of those. And I also, before just opening up, I want to, Maribel's question, I don't know if this got a chance to be specifically answered, but around, are there opportunities for the recipients of the awards to share in their best practices or to shed light? And I would say that again, yes, I think that would be a tremendous opportunity. I envision, for example, a recorded talk back or Q&A or even workshop, so that what really worked for them, particularly with awards like the Hero Award, where those are very innovative, not necessarily scaled, not happening all over the place practices, right? Some of those have been really like raw, kind of organic, effective things that it would be really great. And they haven't had the opportunity to share out, kind of pull back the curtain on what really worked. So I think those are definitely things that we can do, all centering around this idea of further and in a more deep way engaging the recipients of these awards. But anyone else, please feel free to chime in and add to that.
Since no one is going to chime in on that at this point, I wanted to raise a question for Dr. O and the other, the partnerships, the fitness committee, because I love the idea of the short video that we could hopefully help make viral. And I wonder, had there been thought to issuing a challenge at the end of that so that we could theoretically get a bunch of, as kids are seeing people they recognize in the video, they're doing their own and they're tagging and it builds on itself. And then in addition to that thought, might we be able to get the vice president or the first lady or the president to do their own little 5-second to plug in with the rest of us? Because I think if we could really get that ball rolling, we'll reach a younger audience. We've talked a lot about using social media as a tool to engage folks, and this seems like a fun way to get it started.
Stephanie, you're spot on. So that's exactly what we were hoping for this. And we talked about this during our subcommittee to say, for this one, so as I said, Chef Mike's team is has volunteered to kind of put it together and edit it for us. So this sort of sizzle is what we hope everyone on the council will share. And then that's precisely the goal. Challenge your teammates, your colleagues, your friends. And if we can get more people to share that video, just like, someone brought up during the subcommittee meeting, like the ice bucket challenge that we all saw years ago, that's the type of thing that if we say, look, this is Move Your Way, and now we want all of you to show us how you choose to move. That could be the part that then makes it go viral, but we at least have this little piece of it that the council members specifically, and the instructions will go out, and we want everyone to be wearing your council member t-shirt. And because Chef Mike's team is the one putting it together, they've actually asked us for a deadline of October 31st. So that does not give you many days to just make this very brief, literally 5-second. Don't worry, this is not professionally done. This is a little cell phone video where your phone is held vertically. You catch something, you say, I moved by playing wheelchair tennis, toss it off, and then you're done. So the goal is that we can get as many videos as we would like. And if you send us more than one shot or more than one person, that we can use those videos later on, because this might be the chance for us to get the content such that follow-on items may be something a little longer, but this one is meant to be sort of very short, just to be able to then add it to the end of the fitness component. I'm sorry, the end of the feast component of the feast and fitness part of it. But yes, please share this out as widely as possible, because we do hope that that's what will get other people to then continue replicating it.
Since this is a pretty tight deadline, I know it can get a little tricky with the catch and throw. Do you want like catch left, throw right for everybody? Like, do we want to make sure it's a specific thing, just so if we get these videos in, they're correct and we can actually use them?
100%. So the instructions should be hopefully going out, but yes, it is.
Okay, great.
It is look to your right. You're going to catch from your right. You're going to throw back off to your left, so that everyone looks like they're just passing it off to each other. And those instructions are sort of clearly laid out in the document that will go out. But yes, catch from your right, throw off to your left, very brief. And then Mike's team is going to put it all together for us.
Great.
This is great because shows is bipartisan. We involve both sides of the question. So it's a great idea, the right and the left. Great. I love it. And Dr. O, I'm gonna send you a video. I'm gonna send you a video and some ideas that I just asked him randomly. I was not even thinking about that, even in a way I was thinking about that. That Governor Schwarzenegger did. As you remember, he was a great chairman of this office many years ago and was very involved. And anyway, I was having a conversation about something else. And I was like, man, sometimes it's so difficult to do a sport when you don't have a gym or anything. And he sent me these kind of things, like if you get 2 bottles of water, that's weights. If you get bananas, that's weights. So anyway, I'm gonna share it with you, Dr. O, and with Elena and everybody else. So anyway, maybe you can also do something with it. I thought was great that he took the time to send me something. So I'll share it with you so it's not forgotten.
Yeah, if we can use that in some way, would love to talk to the team afterwards. If there's some way we can use that for something, after this, that'd be perfect. Because what you highlighted there is the fact. Not everyone has access to the same resources, so we cannot expect everyone to then go to a nice fancy gym and then go work out. But everyone needs to be able to be active. So how can we demonstrate that? And then, of course, just my little 2 cents throw in there that I know Melissa would bring up too. People move in different ways, right? Not everyone has 2 arms, 2 legs, not everyone walks, not everyone runs. And so therefore being able to demonstrate that we are referring to everyone now, we want to make sure that everyone is able to move your way. That's the important part, regardless of the resources that you have, the limbs that you have, or the access that you have.
I'd love to be able to start planting the seed with various people, like, for example, our baseball operations people at the Cubs or at the Red Stars or at the Sky. And then also just people I know in the dance field and so forth. Is it possible to get some kind of a brief written description for outside organizations or parties? I could see a lot of people wanting to do this. It's so simple and so fun. And how do we sort of spread the word and like in advance of it and getting it ready? And then how do we incorporate or suggest to them to incorporate what they do with our official campaign, if that's possible?
Yeah, so we have some instructions that are going to go out to all of us from the council. The second piece of this and involving everyone, we could share clearly this same document, but the piece of it that I have to then make sure I check with the ODPHP team is how we would then incorporate that into the next project, just because from a bandwidth standpoint, this was Chef Mike's team is putting together the editing of this first video, but we absolutely want to continue to gather videos like this. And if there's some way that we can tease it ahead of time, I'm not sure if that's just individually all of us talking about this, but there's no uniform way yet. And this is why I'm hemming and hawing, because I don't want to speak for what the council's allowed to do. But I think that we might have to do this video that Chef Mike's team is going to put together. And it is from that that is where we're just going to get it out. Because as soon as they put that together, now we can use it. And that's the opportunity to invite other people. I don't know that you're going to be able to, between now and the 31st, necessarily get a lot of lead time on it anyway. So I think when we get this together, if within a week, you're able to then say to them, this is something that the council has just worked on and done. Please spread this broadly and widely. Of course, we could come up with, if we want to come up with a hashtag or something, but those are the ways that you can continue disseminating those things. But I think the first step was making sure there's a there, right? This is the thing that we're trying to show people. We put that video together and then people send it out and they do it on their respective platforms to then encourage other people to join. But I think probably having a hashtag or something that we then all use and share together is probably the easiest first step as to how we can continue making sure that more people can join into it. But look, I'm just an N of one. So if anybody else has thoughts as to how we can maybe do that in a more collaborative, uniform way, Tamika.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and to piggyback off, just remember it's a challenge. So at the end, after, like when we do the video, we'll all have our own individual that we'll push out. And so you can challenge anybody. So, I'm here in Indianapolis. I would challenge the Fever, the Pacers. Like I would find people in my world and then people around the city, but this is even outside of Indianapolis, you can go anywhere to any of your friends. One thing I was going to say, as you're recording it, whether you record it yourself or you have somebody else that records it for you, flip the script a little bit so that you can kind of get a head start on some videos. So if I have my husband record for me, I might see if he can do it. And then he'll have some content to push out just to kind of get it going. If you got kids love this stuff, like this is a great opportunity. I know Elena does a lot of stuff with her dog. I don't know what you could do from the catch aspect, but I know you guys will figure something out. So I think as much of your family as you can get involved, get going early, and then we'll kick it off from our side. But then when we push it out, you should have some extra content.
Yeah. And to that point, Tamika, I think, the benefit of social media is we don't even have to have it be highly produced or prescriptive. If we have a handful of tags, and some of the younger members of the council are probably more adept at this than I, but, with the appropriate tags, once you issue that challenge, people can just pick it up and build on it. It can build on itself in the channel, if you will. So, you know, I don't, because of the bandwidth, we don't want to get into a cycle of having to highly produce anything. If we can start with that seed challenge video that Dr. O was talking about, and we structure it such that there are the appropriate tags that brand the let's move whatever the tagline is that you came up with, then it just, everybody who does it just tags their videos that same way, and you can see them all at the same time. So hopefully we can use the power of social media to have it go viral without a lot of heavy lift, one person to the next.
So this is so amazing. But what we need to remember, the beginnings are very important. Obviously, that we started strong, but this is also now the 100 meters. This is a marathon. For us, I do believe that success will be that has a good start, but also has a long horizon forward. Because at the end, we'll need to find creative ways to keep involving people, keep challenging people. So this is something like not only for days or weeks, but for months, keeps going. So this probably will be one of the biggest challenges, but hey, good start, amazing idea.
I was gonna throw out as a question if we might as a council consider taking some time to brainstorm some council and campaign specific language that can be easily grabbed for initiatives like this, because there are a few others, and I guess now would be the space and the additional brainstorm. But for example, this reminds me of the National Dance Day opportunity as well, which we didn't make the deadline. It's the third Saturday. It's legislation that assigns the third Saturday of every September as a National Day of Dance, and it's disseminated nationwide. It's hosted bi-coastally right now between the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. and another organization in California. And it's got so many things about it that can be shared later. But one of what took up a lot of time this year was the establishing what the language, right, and the hashtags and all of that could be, and understanding there are some approval processes behind that go into that. And it sounds like there's an opportunity, especially since engagement is an important value, it sounds like, for this group, that social media can be a great mechanism. But a big part of social media's impact is those clear, easy utility and consistent utility, right, of the hashtag. All of that affects the metrics, the algorithm, et cetera. So I think it could be a nice kind of shortcut that we figure out to help us keep the momentum going, especially if we think about continuity. National Dance Day is the official day is on the month, but there are folks interested in seeing that done regionally, regularly. I attended in September in Washington, D.C. It was amazing. The number, hundreds and hundreds of people who've never considered themselves as dancers, moving, engaging in physical activity of all capabilities and backgrounds. It was so beautiful. And they're interested, to kind of close it out as an idea. There is an interest in establishing a connection, an official connection with this council. But of course, you've got to flush out some more things. But back to the social media was my initial question. Is that something that we could think about? That sounds like it could really get us, it could buy us back some time, streamline our efforts, and also amplify the impact.
Definitely, yeah. I think this is something that I know, as Dr. O mentioned, we talked a little bit about during like the subcommittee meeting, and so we'll kind of continue to work through it. I know there's a couple different ideas on this front that we can sort of utilize in creating some of this consistent messaging and creating like a campaign around this with like centralized hashtags. And so we'll plan on sending out obviously the initial video instructions for all of you today, and then in the next couple of days come back to you all on sort of a plan when it comes to like the broader campaign and how to sort of leverage the networks that all of you have and some of the messaging that we want to include to make sure that we're sort of amplifying the impact and letting this sort of like, you know, build upon itself through social media like we just spoke about. So definitely look out for you know, those instructions and getting those in by Tuesday as mentioned, but then we'll definitely come back in the next couple of days with a plan on the other front.
I think another strength of this too is we've talked about, reaching younger generations. We've talked about people of all abilities, people in all communities. Is also thinking about this of people across the lifespan and assuring, that move your way is also applicable as we think about older adults. And, there's just recently, as many of us all know, there's been a mid-course review around the physical activity guidelines and implementation strategies for older adults. So just recognizing that, again, Dr. O, to your point, it doesn't have to be you're joining a gym. It's just how you can move and get physical activity that's really applicable and important really across the lifespan so that we have healthy communities in all communities.
And I will add one last small part to piggyback on that again. So Melissa Stockwell, as part of the physical activity subcommittee, one of the things that we also brought up is sort of putting it out there for you all. We're hoping to plan towards a spring event where we elevate the disability community to talk about physical activity and sport for the disability community specifically. So if anyone has ties to the community and interest and ideas in that, we've got some things that are sort of percolating, but just to put that out there to the rest of the council, that we have sort of chosen that is one of the sort of specific populations that we want to be highlighting the importance of physical activity for the disability community, and particularly with youth, especially with our National Youth Sports Strategy champions. So that is just a little teaser to something that we hope to then be working on after we finish with Feast and Fitness.
I love that idea. I have a lot of connections with the Special Olympics, so happy to help, happy to share, happy to be a part of any of the events. So please just keep me in the loop.
Thank you.
So I think this has been great ideas. Any of things we are already doing, you are already putting in motion. And if anything, I can add to Elena words. I think for everybody listening to us here, that really to try to make sure that this President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, that we are able to bring obviously other administration activities into the fold. Anything that may happen from Thanksgiving celebrations to Easter egg roll to the state dinners to the championship teams visiting the White House. I think we need to be very smart on that. I think we all agree on that, but for all the people joining this call, and obviously bringing other agencies, I think sports, fitness, and nutrition, we all know that makes sense just to bring the Department of Agriculture and HHS, but I do believe that this is involved other secretaries. We need to try to collaborate across the government in many ways and show that food is everything. It's energy, it's education, it's defense, it's environment, it's labor, it's housing, it's urban development. So I think we need to keep a very big open mind, because then what we are trying to achieve can be so much more successful in more ways than one. And me, I will always add that we see a lot of things going on in terms of sometimes dark moments and disasters. We've seen what just has happened in a very strange way in Maine, but I'm talking hurricanes and earthquakes. We need to be thinking in crisis, that if is any way that we can remember that people need food, that people need our dignity, and people need to feel we are next to them. It's not like, I know it's not what we are here for, but times are changing, and in the next year or two, it's going to be moments that I believe any creative way we can make sure that this President's Council is also active in these moments that some communities are going to need love and help from all of us. I would love for all of you to keep that in mind, to find creative ways so we can be next to the people in very dark moments. And I think that's just important to remember.
Absolutely. Do council members have any other sort of questions or ideas that we want to discuss before we adjourn? Any other outstanding items that folks want to go through with the broader group? Okay. Rachel, I think we might be good to adjourn.
All right, one last chance for any parting words.
Rachel, I just would add a huge thanks and to our co-chairs for all the enthusiasm and encouragement, and to everybody who's made your time. Time is a non-renewable resource. We're not getting any more of it, and to dedicate your energy and time to this is inspiring to me, and I'm sure to everyone on the council. So it's an honor to be working alongside you. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for all your efforts. And Rehan, thanks to you for joining the cause and leading the charge. We're grateful to have you on board.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be working with all of you. So.
As we've said before, this is a fantastic and mighty team, and I look forward to seeing all of the things that you're going to do over the coming months. So with that, as the designated federal official for the council, I will officially adjourn the meeting and just thank everyone here for attending, as well as those watching at home. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hey, Dr. O.